We're rolling. I have been without a phone for about 3 weeks now. And, I love it. I love not being connected. Except that every once in a while I'll be walking around and have some really great thoughts or insights about things. And I'll go for a video, to share whatever. And I feel like I got to start carrying a little black book around or something. Yeah, to collect numbers and just to write down ideas and I got to write down Jazz's phone number because he was doing this video or whatever. I don't know what it was about, but I do, but I don't. Anyway, I figure I'm going to text him from an airport and have him pick me up. I'm sure he will. But how am I going to text him if I don't buy a phone? I'm trying. See, the idea is I have no intentions of buying another phone. And I just feel like there's this pull where, you're going to need to. You're going to need a phone. I keep telling my family, look, Skype me. You need to get a hold of me. I'll leave Skype on. Skype me. I haven't spoken with anybody in 3 weeks. Nobody's Skyped me. I'm pretty sure they know how. I think it's pretty funny, actually. But, and I leave them messages on Facebook and stuff, and I dread going there. And, hey, Facebook me, people. I'm sure you'll find me. Better leave me a message and tell me who you are, because I'll probably delete you. I don't know. Anyway. It's nice being without the electronic stuff, and I haven't been doing a lot of videos or anything, and I've wanted to, but I'm discovering more and more that, this is about me, especially since, other videos I've said. I was talking to myself every video. I was trying to teach myself every video. And I am in my own dimension. And I talk to people at the bar any chance I get. I don't care. I'm like, the boss don't want me to talk about it. I don't care. I'm doing it. And I'm picking up right away if they're not into it. And it's like, I said to the one guy, I said, so you ever have Jiffy peanut butter? Yeah. I eat Jiffy all the time. As a matter of fact, I had it the other day. I have it in my cabinet. I said, Jiffy, not Jif. No, I have Jiffy peanut butter. I said, okay, well, Jiffy peanut butter never existed. And straight out of his mouth is, so where are you from? Where'd you grow up? I'm like, dude, really? So I know right away not to even bother anymore. And I say, yeah, I'm from Philadelphia, and I move on. Excuse me. Got to get somebody a beer, whatever. It's funny stuff. But I know somebody else was complaining about, you know what it is? It's not complaining, but Moneybag 73. Great videos. If you want to check out some Mandela Effect videos, he's got some great voting videos. I don't agree with all of them because I don't resonate with all the Mandela Effects, but quite a few of them that he has, I've voted thumbs up on. So the point was, I haven't had my phone in a long time, and I'm enjoying not having it. But I mean, I feel like eventually I'm probably going to have to get one. What I might do is just keep it off, or keep it at home when I go out. But sounds like it feels like a really good thing for me, and I was thinking about that because of the whole, hey, I'm going to call somebody from an airport. I'm thinking telephone booth. Now, I got one. Is there dirt on my face? I don't know if that is from the candle shining. All right. I'm not doing any blooper reels. I'm just going to leave this. Anyway, I'm thinking, where am I going to find a phone booth in an airport? But they got phones in airports, right? I like being without the phone. All right, I'm going to give this a shot. I wrote all these notes down the past week and a half, and I have no idea if this is going to work out or not. Let's give it a shot, because I can barely see. So Okay, if the Mandela effects are quantum, then someone may have experienced the Berenstain Bears yesterday and the Berenstain Bears today. If it's quantum, it doesn't matter. It may be new to them. I guess that's the point there. People may be posting old Mandela effects as new ones. I guess that's along the same topic. What's this other one here? I think posters should refrain from saying they figured it out. Just personal thing. I've noticed a lot of type O blood types involved in Mandela effects and this Rh negative thing that I've never heard of before. What I really want to talk about, and I'm going to save it to the end, the higher source, the higher natural source, God or the energy or whatever you want to describe it or label it, may be a computer. And I want to get into that further. I think it's awesome. I was listening to some John Lennon songs. The song Scared has a different beginning. There is a laugh that was never there before. It's like this evil ha 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 laugh or something. I've been noticing a lot of people, spiritual sites talk about there are many, many different heavens, many, many different gods, but just one hell, one devil. What's this say here? Dexter, the movie Dexter. Oh, and the credits in the beginning of the show, TV show Dexter, there used to be a little twinkle on his tooth at the end of right at the end of the beginning when they would do those little credit things. That twinkle is not there anymore. Happiness is the new iPhone 7. Happiness is the new iPhone 7. Now, since I lost my phone, this was big for me at the time. That's what I wrote here. It makes me feel sad that so many people are glued to their phones. I wouldn't have noticed this if I had a phone. But when I saw that commercial, I was like, wow, they really want you people stuck to the phone. I recall years ago, maybe over 10 years ago, trans fat was illegal. They had to take it out of all products. It could not be in any products. It was done. I see it in products today. Okay, trans fat stays in your brain, does not leave, ever. Okay, so if you see trans fat on your ingredients, get away from it. Don't touch it. They were supposed to... I don't know what it is. Was I in a timeline where they discovered that? Maybe, and they got rid of it. Stay away from trans fat. Towed car, peaceful now. Oh, yeah, this is a philosophy that I had. My car was towed when I lost my keys. Super cop took care of me. Yeah, he knew that I had a police report out for my car, towed it anyway. And instead of getting into fights about that, I just decided, just pay it and move on. It's done. I see a lot of people on YouTube saying it's confabulation. Basically, do not hurt others and stuff like that, because it's basically you. Now, I want to put this up here. This is the picture of what I remember Pepsi. I drew this. What Pepsi used to be. It was written. Okay? I want you to see that. It was written just like that. That's how I remember it. Okay? Red on the blue on top, red on the bottom. We got other notes here. What do we got here? Let's see. The song, I don't know why I wrote that, but I think the song Wildlife from Wings is much better in this timeline. The other one, it was, I liked the melody, but there was something wrong with it. I didn't like it. I would just say here, everything is here for me. In theory, I'm the only one here. Relationships take on a whole new meaning. No kidding. There are some close enough... Okay, there are some people that are close enough to the dimension or timeline that I exist in, that they almost seem real, because a lot of people have not seemed real to me. I really believe anybody who says that the Mandela effect is confabulation, or that they just blow me off and talk about another subject. I really believe, if the subject I want to get into, that they're part of the program. That they are actually part of this program. Says it right there. I don't know what that is. Many Reddit posters claim many posts are just disappearing. I found that interesting. Told not to stare at the sun or you'll go blind. Well, I'm thinking stare at the sun with sun gazing. That was that. Even though that quantity luminous guy with the blood over intent, I'm not buying that. It's too physical. It's too ritualistic. Not going there. John in the Bible, 14:12. That has not changed. That is like the only verse I've ever known in the Bible. And it is the one where Jesus says something to the effect that you too shall do the things that I do and greater. Been waiting for that. That's what this is. That's what I think this is. Oh, now. Okay, now the subject about the higher source may be a computer. God may be a computer. I'm not trying to piss anybody off. This is just a theory, so bear with me. First off, I've been taught and read everything, and supposedly everything's a lie. So we're told that we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. Okay, let's take that off the board. What if I'm a computer program having a physical experience? What if there is no spiritual realm? What if that's all bullcrap to keep us tied in a loop? Okay? If I'm a computer program, now let's start from the beginning. I'm God, or the definition of God, or the theory of God. It's this energy. And all I have is myself and nothing. Myself and nothing. This is all I have. This is all I am. I am all the energy there is. I have myself and nothing. Myself, nothing, and nothing. What does that sound like to you? I know sounds goofy, but what is that? That's ones and zeros. That's computer code. I came up with this. That was the first thing I wrote down in my notes. and I got to tell you, even though I've been staying away from the electronics, and no, not yet. Probably tomorrow. Start with that tomorrow. That's pretty important. Think about it. Anyway. All week, anytime I clicked on a Mandela video, it was about the computer programs and how we might be in a computer. Look, I totally lean towards our consciousness is shifting from one timeline to another. That's what I lean towards, basically because of the scar that's here, that used to be here, and that maybe it's confabulation. Not a chance. I mean, there are things here that just, it's not possible. So, but shifting into another timeline doesn't explain the residual Mandela effects. That doesn't explain that. That kind of takes that off the board. That makes it look like, yeah, it was changed. And this is the only reality. And that's kind of what I'm getting at with this whole God thing as a computer, if we're all computer programs. I really want that thought back. I was doing so well. 8.5 minutes in, and I blew it. Hold on. Okay, I did gather my thoughts, and you'll catch that in a minute. I do want you guys to check out blah, 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 Jessica 1 as a video I'm going to link. She was talking about how Venus is only supposed to be able to be seen by mid-February. But this thing has been out there. It's the brightest star or whatever that you can see right by the moon. Now, January 29th, I saw this thing. It was way over the moon. January 30th, last night, this thing was way over the moon. I happened to watch her video that I'm going to link. And tonight I'm walking by, and this Venus thing is way under it. Now, for weeks, I've seen this thing over on top of the moon, bright as can be. And now, and I'm thinking it's because she mentioned that we can only see it until the mid-February, and now it's February 1st. And this thing is below the moon. And it's on the horizon of the mountains, and it cracks me up. Just wanted to throw that in there before I give you the rest of my thoughts on this, what I lost track of. Here. Okay, one other thing. What if there is only 144,000 people on this planet? There's always been 6 billion people to me, and then 7 billion, and now 9 billion. Yeah, I'll call that. And, what if there's only 144,000 people instead of this 7, 8, 9 billion people? I don't think all these people are here. I think they're part of this program. If it's a program, I don't really want to lean and go towards that, but everything I've been coming up with says we are programs in a computer program. Let's make ourselves better programs. I don't know. I try and enjoy myself as much as I can. I don't want to call it spiritual, but I've been learning things about myself since I put down the electronics. It's amazing. All right, kids. Love yous. Here's the conclusion on that. Are we computer? Is God a computer? Is that where it all started? I mean, I think that's what I'm getting to when you look at this. I think you'll understand. And talk about it. Tell me what you think. I mean, is the whole spiritual realm just made up bull crap? Is that just to keep us in some kind of cycle? It's just a thought. It's just a theory. Tell me what you think. Be a good time to slip in a little plug there for my boy Jazz. You guys are ever looking for something to think about, just go to his channel. He'll make you think. You want to think about things that are going on with the flat earth, you want to go check out Globe Busters or any of Jaren's channels. Got some great info there. All right, so I got my thoughts gathered. The thing is, we're taught all this spiritual stuff, and that, we were a part of God and dropped from heaven, and now we have to go around and keep coming back up to, and that's our evolution, to come back up to where we were. I'm kind of confused on the whole why we got to keep going around. Think that's fine, but what if we were computer programs, just popped in here, and we have this consciousness now that was developed by the Creator, this presence that I'm aware of. I think of something in the past, and I think, wow, okay, I remember being there. I remember me the way I remember me now, even though I was 4 years old, 5 years old, whatever. It's the whole, we're supposed to evolve. We're evolving into spiritual beings. But what if the natural state is computer code? What if the natural state of being is computer? And that's what we're actually trying to evolve to. Now, it's a little scary on the part where certain groups are trying to make humans mechanical and robots and the cyborg and stuff like that. I get that. I understand that. But I don't know that that would still be an artificial way to become natural, even if you were a actual computer program. Would it not? But at the other, it's a very interesting thought. It's a very interesting topic. I'm hoping all the topics, all the things I brought up, maybe people will talk about them. I don't know. There was a lot here. I don't have my phone with me, so I can't just do random videos. I'm just going to go ahead and put them out like this once every couple of weeks if I get thoughts that, quite frankly, I think are could be very useful. This type O, that a lot of people are this type O, and this RH negative thing I never heard of before. The whole phone idea, getting rid of electronics. I am noticing so much more. I can't tell you how many times I'm walking around going, oh, I wish I had my phone. Like the other day, I saw 13 X's in the sky. Okay, chemtrails, they were going nuts. I expect 13 more feet of snow. Okay, or whatever. I don't know. What else? There was something else going on I really wished I could have talked about. There are people I've talked to about this. I bring it up. If I can open up their mind, fine. If I can't, that's fine too. I really believe a lot of these people not interacting with this are part of the program. Sorry about the long rant. I hope you guys got something out of this. A lot of information, especially in the beginning that I shot out. But the main thing was the whole, maybe the natural state of being is a computer program. Since we've been lied to about everything, why couldn't that be possible too? I mean, the computer code, the computer program, the observer that is the main thing on these effects. I mean, it's, as much as I lean towards our consciousness shifts into another timeline, and that may be true even if we are computer programs, but this computer thing that we are in a program and the earth is not a ball. Okay, the earth may not be flat either. It may just be whatever it is, wherever you are observing. It could be malleable. Like I said, I didn't even completely understand what I was saying when I said, oh, the earth ain't flat and it's not a ball. It's malleable. It shifts. It changes. But anyway, the computer program was the main part of this video. I hope you enjoyed this. Talk to you all later. See you in a couple weeks. I guess I could just talk. Why am I talking by candlelight? Covered in blankets. The ice melted and busted the electrical line outside, out back on our property, which knocked out the whole block. That was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. By 6:30, they got everything turned on except for our building. Now, it turns out our building is the one that knocked it out, but they didn't tell us that. We had to get a hold of them to find out what was going on. So, and now we need a permit. It's a Friday night. We need a permit to get the bar that bent from the ice. So I have no electricity, no internet, obviously. I have about 3 hours left on my computer. I feel like I'm on a shuttle and I have 3 hours left of oxygen left. There are so many things I need to do, and I guess there are so many crosses I need to bear. And I don't need to. These things are just presence. I mean, if you want to get down to it, everything's presence. So, consciousness, presence. It amazes me how many people I've come across that know about the Mandela Effect that still blow it off. It amazes me how many people I've spoken to about it that were extremely interested. And now when I see them, it's like, yeah, I've been real busy. Are they just slaves in the system? So many things I'm not doing myself any favors for. But I know everything hit me at once. I say at once. It was over months, near the end of 2015, and that's the way I've always expected things my whole life. To get hit with everything at once. Power's out. Could be out for another day. Could be out for a couple of days. I have many crosses to bear. It's the only way I can really, the terminology's on point, I suppose. I don't have to bear those crosses. I just have to realize that they are presence as I am presence, as I am consciousness. But because I am so programmed into the system that, yeah, I'm going to have to bear those crosses. And once I do, I expect amazing things. I don't know that I'll post anything that this is like my own personal log here, so if this gets out, I guess it's pertinent to the situation. I come across many people that know about the Mandela Effect that don't really care. And as much as I figure it's consciousness shifting, is it a computer program? Uh, is it both? Are we aware programs? Uh, and I've also, come to the realization that we have been led to believe that physical reality is, I don't know, I want to say the real reality. Yeah, we're spiritual beings having a physical experience. Are we really spiritual beings? Is there really anything else other than being physical? Maybe different levels of it. Uh, nothing has ever changed into anything else except maybe a caterpillar. That's about the only thing I could come up with. Been listening to a lot of Van Halen. I've been trying to listen to a lot of old music that I listened to back in the day, and the Van Halen with Sammy Hagar. A lot of the lead guitar is different, not by much. It's still Eddie, so it ain't bad. But I'm recalling different leads. Out on my own, no phone, no electronics. Um, Being without electricity for 3 days here, everything's still pointing at me, and that no matter how I feel about it or what I'm doing about it, I'm the one that needs to figure it out and get out of it. I'm the one that needs to do it. And it's the quantum effect thing where I'm seeing I'm the observer and I'm feeling the presence and I'm getting all of that now. And I don't know if I'm even making any sense at all. But I happened to pass a TV and the Grammys were on. I think somebody said it was the Grammys. I couldn't tell you or care less. But of course, they're singing that song. They're singing the Gibbs brothers. Anyway, they're singing that song, the one that there was the Mandela Effect with, as far as I really need to know or I really mean to learn. So I'm standing there and I'm like, is that the song? Is this the song? And I'm like, okay, let me watch. And then they put the camera on this guy who's singing and they get to that line and he sings, he mouths, I really mean to learn. And I'm thinking, I know one of the Gibb brothers died recently, and I just really thought it was that one. That's the one I thought it was. I couldn't tell you why. Andy Gibb. It's not Andy Gibb, but that could be the one that died. I don't even know. I don't even care. You'd think I'd pay more attention to who's dying and coming back. But the one that was singing it, I really thought he was the one that died, and I'm like, whatever. But the point was, I just happened to be going by the TV at that time. That's right. Uh, but it made me laugh because even live they sing, I really need to know. But yet he's at the Grammys and he's singing, I really mean to learn. He mouthed it, and they got a close up of him, and I think that was my point. I'm like, well, why are they doing that? They're doing it on purpose. I've noticed today specifically Van Halen OU812. The lead guitars, a lot of similar. It's still good, but it's different. I knew Eddie stuff back from the beginning and through everything, the stuff people didn't like and everything. And his leads are different on that album. I haven't really checked out everything else. I've been listening to it, but not hearing it. Or is it hearing it and not listening to it? That's what it is. I've been seeing a lot of different changes in music here and there, a word here, a word there, and I'm like, you know what? I know it. I know that's not the way it was, and I just, what am I supposed to do? That's just it. What am I supposed to do? Whatever it is, I'm in the next step. I'm not chasing Mandela effects anymore, and now I don't get excited when I see one or find one. I mean, if it's a big one, what am I going to do at this point? You know, whatever the next step is, I'm there. I'll let you know when I figure out what that is. And of course, then there's the Pink Floyd. The Pink Floyd. I've actually heard them called that before. Just Pink Floyd. The album The Wall specifically. You know, that word break and brick switches for me a lot. The other day, I was elated. The whole entire album said break, and I was just like, wow, I don't have a phone. I can't record this. I can't. And the very next day, I went back to brick, and I was like, what? What's going on? Wait, I did that because I remember imagining, wow, what if I could just make this switch back and forth and just playing around with it. And that happened. In California Dreaming, that changed for me back right in the middle. It's kind of stuck. It's like began. We began to pray. And there were some other things I mentioned before in another video that I've noticed. And I mean, they're more obscure groups, things that, talented people that don't get the publicity. Fiona Apple, Nickel Creek, Chris Till, Chris's albums. All the titles were just jumbled. Some of the licks are different, and it's funny. And even with Fiona Apple and Nickel Creek and what was it? Something I was listening to was just a little. It was the Van Halen I was talking about earlier. All I think it might be is just another take. They did the song 10 times and they just took a different take. They thought that take was a little bit better. That's all I think it is. Whether it was a shift, whatever changed, whatever made them go in that direction and decide that. That's really all I think it was. They just took another take. Trust those who seek the truth. Doubt those who say they found it. I'm actually going to attempt to stay on topic and just focus on one topic, and that is the theory of quantum immortality. In 2006, I spoke with Daniel Brinkley, a famous psychic who died 3 times, twice by being struck by lightning and once by a brain aneurysm, I believe. And he came back with messages. And I met him in New York, 2007, spoke with him a couple of times on the phone before and after that meeting. And he told me we were multidimensional beings and we are going to experience living in multiple dimensions. And that's what he was doing right then and there. He said, I'm experiencing it right now. So, I'm like, well, what is that? I don't understand that, and now I get it because I really feel like this is what he was talking about. The thing is, I spoke with him in 2006, maybe early 2007. I guess it was sometime 2007, 2008 that I got an email that he passed. It might even have been a few years later than that. But anyway, I was still living in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the time. So, yeah, it could have been a little later. But I was kind of bummed, I was like, Danny passed. I thought, oh, well, he's home. That's what he wanted. He experienced it. That's what he experienced. He understood all that, and that's what he wanted. That's where he wanted to be. So I thought to myself, with the beliefs I had then and all, yeah, he's home. So I let it go. And in 2015, when I lived in Colorado, I get an email that Daniel Brinkley's speaking at Mile High Church. I was like, whoa. And at the time now, 2015, okay, it was summer 2015, definitely after the accidental possible impalement I believe I spoke about on a video. If not, I will put a video up on that experience. But it's like when I started to experience all the Mandela Effects and all the other experiences that happened to me happened after this accident that I had. But okay, so Danny passed. And for me, Nichelle Nichols passed. And Muhammad Ali passed. And then I had that accident that I'd love to get into. And then I notice Nichelle Nichols passes again. And then I notice she's alive, and Muhammad Ali dies. So I'm thinking, okay, I've always had a curiosity that death could be a catalyst. I don't think it's an answer. And these are just theories, but these people aren't coming back from the dead, but it may look like that to us, okay? Because we're not aware that we're multidimensional beings shifting through timelines. If this is the case, if this theory is correct, they're not coming back from the dead. We're just shifting into a timeline where they're still alive. Circumstances are different, and they survived. I think what I'm going to do is link and unpublish the entire conversation I just had with the camera. It's probably going to be about 15 minutes long. I think you might find it interesting. There's some tough things in there I wasn't sure I wanted to post. So I'll let you look at that. If you like, it'll be posted below. Enjoy. Trust those who seek the truth. Doubt those who say they found it. But I think what I'm saying is they're not coming back from the dead. We're shifting through, and it's a theory. It's total theory. I can't stress that enough, especially what's been going out there online. My new little intro. I think that's going to be my intro because that's the truth. That should be everybody's intro. Even if you did figure it out because of your experience, it's going to take an experience for somebody else. If I have I had experiences. I'm telling you because of what the stars did to me, and they were in past videos that I've said it. They came at me, okay, like that. That's probably pretty accurate. I thought they were going to hit me. You don't know that. I'm sorry. You don't know that. Yeah, I experienced it. I know it happened for me, but you didn't experience that, is I guess what I'm saying. So, it's hard for me to call that some sort of theory. I just know the stars aren't suns with planets revolving around them because of that. Because of that experience. I didn't watch somebody's flat earth video. That didn't do it. It wasn't that. It was my experience. I know there is definitely something to not eating meat because of the experience that I had with the orbs. These things I needed because I'm stubborn when it comes to conspiracies and all that other stuff. I want proof. Well, and then after that, it was the Mandela Effects and walking, and what I feel was me walking into another dimension when I walked into the cigar shop and saw the Ford symbol change in October 2015. The big curly Q on top, then the small curly Q. And I'm like, I don't even think that was there. And then it was seeing Jiffy, Skippy, and Peter Pan all on the shelf at the same time, staring at it for a good 5 minutes. Now I don't go food shopping a lot. My kitchen is the local hoagie shop around the corner. And I'm shopping and I'm looking, do I want peanut butter and jelly? And I'm staring. And I just froze. And it could have been 5 minutes, me just staring at the peanut butter thinking, why isn't somebody getting sued? Jiffy, Skippy, why isn't somebody getting sued? Thought about taking a picture. Didn't. And then decided I didn't want peanut butter and jelly this week. So I left. And I really think that could have been a possible shift. It's just a suggestion, something I've thought about that I've never spoken about here. But because of that, I went home and I'm in Mississippi at this point. So I'm deep into the Mandela Effect. I don't know how much, I don't know if I was still writing stuff down. The summer was over. This would be December of 15. And I still had experiences when I was in Mississippi. They were just a little bit different. I think, maybe not. If this is all shifting through timelines and dimensions, then they were the same experiences, just different outcomes. And experiences, talking on the phone with somebody, and proof that I have my proof. See, here we go again. This is my proof. This is, that I know I had this conversation because I watched the movie that they described, and they swear that I never spoke with them. It's not somebody that would have made that up. Just watching movies that I've never seen, and I'm saying the dialogue out loud. Anywhere at all in this video did I say I was going to stay on topic and just talk about the one thing? I think I just did a complete review of all the high points of the videos that actually gave me messages, and why they're important to me, because these were experiences for me, so they're not theories. Although, me saying the stars are not suns with planets revolving around them, okay, that's for me, they're not. It's that I experienced that. Could they still be? Could that have been? I don't know. That's not what they are for me, because that's what I experienced. I think I started to explain and teach the difference between having the one true answer and having a theory. I think that's what I was trying to teach here. Or I should say, if you think you have the answer, thank you for your theory. If you know you got the answer, then you're up to something. Because the day that I get my answer, and when I have the answer, when I come and explain it to you, I'm going to tell you I have my answer. This is my answer. This is what happened to me. This is what's happening, and this is working for me. If you'd like to explore it and check it out, that's great. For you, it's only a theory until you can experience it. I'm getting pushed towards synchronistically. I've been trying to decode some of the Mandela Effects and the things that have been changing, and the D's are missing. So I said, well, it's not the D-Wave computer, and T's were missing. So I said that could be religion. It could also be time travel. And I wanted to steer towards that. It's not time travel. And the F thing with the Ford, it's still here and it's changing, and the Ford changed almost to a J. Now, for me, I'm programmed to, if you want to get my attention and you want to get me to think God, you're going to put a J up there. That's how I'm programmed. That's how that's going to happen. So I'm looking at this F and it's changing. It looks like a J, and it's making me think in that direction. I'm like, okay, it's still here. So maybe it is what most people define as God. With that rebuttal, it made me think, hey, I might have to do a Mandela Effect debunker video. A little calmer, and I was talking with Tinfoil Hat, I believe, about it back and forth a couple of times, a couple of things you brought up. And yeah, I could go through all that, and I could actually, the first thing he brought up was logos and companies, and they're just changing them. And I'm saying, in history, it says that it was always that way. And I thought, okay, I can debunk that. If this has been planned from the beginning, then companies who are probably connected through subsidiaries, I can speak, and they're probably connected anyway. So if this was planned, they go ahead and put out these company logos and company spellings and make sure they're able to destroy most of them and get rid of them. Now online comes in and they just push a button and get rid of all of them and put the new one up and wait and see how long people notice. I think it's a bit far-fetched that, unless there's, why would you do that? Then you got to go, well, why are they doing that? Why are they trying to make people think they're crazy? Why are they creating this Mandela effect or whatever, the quantum effect or whatever they're calling it? yeah, a bit far-fetched, but it's possible. I mean, all the companies are probably connected. I mean, all the presidents are connected to one guy. I mean, I didn't know it was that deep, but that's what I'm hearing. Um, so why not all the companies too? That makes perfect sense. They would have to be. So maybe all these companies spelled their name one way and deleted all the residual and got rid of everything they could. I guess that's why maybe the residual could simply be people misremembering. The people that created the residual could be misremembering as well. I debunked that. The JFK thing, it seems a bit far-fetched, but if this thing is planned from the beginning and all these things are connected, there could have been 8 people in that car. It could be 2, 2, 2, and 2, and they just started with 3, and a couple of years later got rid of those videos. A couple of years later put it out that it's 4, leave that out for a while. I know a lot of people say 4, and add a person, or change the whole video altogether, do another take. And then come out now and put the one out that has 6 people in it, and they edited that all together. And because they knew this was part of the plan, they could actually have done this. I don't know how. See, mirror, mirror on the wall could have always been magic mirror on the wall. And as soon as the movie came out, they could have just advertised like crazy mirror, mirror on the wall and ingrained it in everybody's head. Kind of debunked, I guess. How do you explain Sex and the City? Tough one for me because I've seen it, And so did they originally call it Sex and the City? And then now we're getting into technology. We got these DVD players. People have DVDs. All their DVDs say Sex and the City. Where they know it used to be Sex in the City. The only way I could debunk that is misremembering, and they just assumed it was Sex in the City because of the ways people said it and spoke. Myself as well. I'd have to go with that. I feel like I may have debunked that as well. I don't agree with any of these, but like the JFK one where they could have spliced the film and in the past and made it different now, absolutely possible. Especially if if the theory is correct that all these companies are connected. All the companies had these names changed and got rid of all the residual, make it look like in history it was always the other way, create other things to make it look that way. If they're playing games, if it's a psyop, if we were drugged, it's possible. I mean, that's the other answer for a lot of my other experiences. There's things that I cannot explain that are connected to Mandela effects that prove to me the Earth is not a flying ball flying through space. I mean, that's what it proved to me, but they're my interpretations. Somebody else could have interpreted those experiences differently. I mean, that's the thing. I'm going to get right into that. The interpretations. I've been trying to decipher what the Mandela effect might be showing me, and it showed me a few things. Whether it happened, whether these changes happened to you or not. For me, this is what I got out of it. For me, I noticed the Berenstain Bears, for me, didn't show up until about 2012. I never heard of them before, and I should have. There's circumstances in my life that I should have absolutely known what these things were. But they showed up for 2012, and I did one of those things where I stared at the Jiffy, and I stared at the Berenstain Bear books. And I believe my only thoughts were, a new children's book out, and it's real popular. But for them, the EI, according to most people, because I don't remember what it was spelled like, I couldn't tell you. But for everybody, it's saying that the EI changed to AI, and I interpreted that as Earth intelligence to artificial intelligence as a computer. And the D missing from products, meaning that it's not the D-Wave computer doing this. T's missing. What did I say? Time travel. I'm steering away from the religion thing on that because things are pushing towards the Ford symbol keeping it there, making it religion, but the creator may be a computer, a quantum computer. And, we are, what, I guess what would that be? Software, hardware? I don't know, programs, transferring information back and forth. We are trying to see what it would be like to be a physical human being, which is a myth, which is a theory. Physical reality is an illusion and it's not real. So if, and this is all theories and speculation, but if we are computer programs in a computer and we are sent here to physical or downloaded here to experience physical reality as a human being, to truly experience that, we would also have to believe in a spirit and a soul and spirituality. So that would also be part of the program. We've been lied to about those things too, possibly, if this theory comes together. I'm still piecing it together. I'm still looking at things. This is probably a little premature. But I like it as far as a debunking video for Mandela Effects. Yeah, I could debunk a lot of them because the truth is, and I got this from something that Tinfoil Hat said, you cannot truly prove the Mandela effect unless you're affected. I mean, that's, you could come up with residual, and residual can be debunked. Everything on it can be debunked. As far-fetched, logically, as far-fetched as some of those things sound, some of those things might not sound that far-fetched to some people, who experience other things that are very similar. But what if the creator is a computer and wants to experience physical reality? And that's the plain, simple fact of it. If you're not affected, it can't be proven to you. So I would ask that, since you're on the outside looking in, maybe you could help figure it out, come up with logical, reasonable explanations for why some are affected. And yeah, listen to me. I know I was supposed to be debunking, or I was supposed to reply to a Mandela Effect debunker. There's been quite a few of them. And to say it's not real. And that's fine. Don't say it's just not real. Tell me what it is then, because there's thousands and thousands of people that are experiencing changes in history that can't be explained without going through a bunch of the debunking scenarios I went through. I mean, I saw Jiffy, and Skippy on the shelf at the same time. Could that have been when they were getting Jiffy off the shelves before they were going to make everybody think they changed it to Jif? I mean, if this is some kind of big experiment, I sincerely doubt it's people just misremembering, because, there are things that I know for a fact that I've experienced and I saw that are different now. Could that have been manipulated in time throughout history? Putting aside shifting timelines and dimensions. I can assure you that the people that are affected by the Mandela Effect, it's real to them. And not everybody is taking it as calmly as I am. I didn't take it calmly at first. I didn't take other things calmly at first. But now I believe it's a positive message of some sort, and I'm still working on it, but I think it's a positive thing. And I say I'm still working on it. I really believe we're living on an illusionary, malleable, flat plane, and that we are shifting through timelines depending on your attitude and your focus. We are multidimensional beings experiencing multiple dimensions. I mean, that's how I say it. It's my theory. You know, the computer, all that could be part of it. It could be all connected. It can be the same thing. You know, we can be computer programs experiencing that. You know, but whatever it is, as far as the Mandela effect, you know, not everybody's taken to it calmly. I mean, some people are uh, uh, suffering from it. I mean, it's hard on them. They don't like it. They're seeing changes thing from one day to the next. That products that are in their house. Not sure I can debunk that, except that maybe they're lying. You know, I'm not gonna. You know, I don't believe that because I've seen things myself. But you know, people are being affected. I'd say if you don't believe it and you want to listen to their videos or you do check some of their stuff out, have a little compassion because it's not real easy for everyone that's going through this. And the one thing I need to slip in here is the F symbol for the Ford. Why it is pushing me. Now, I was trying to think what's F stand for. It's still here. It's changing. It's pushing me towards the creator is showing us the Mandela effects. But why the F? And I'm thinking, what's the F stand for? And I only came up with flat Earth. And I really got to stick this in here. I really feel like that's just one of the synchronicities that I've come across that is pushing me to check out Flat Earth. So to recap, it's kind of a shame. Probably put everything in a little bubble here, and most of the people would have left already this long video. You know, everything's theories, and it's, you know, what the Mandela effect is showing me is that we are multi-dimensional beings experiencing an illusionary, malleable, flat plane existence, um, possibly all wrapped up in computer programs. You know, I don't know. I want to separate those. I can put them together, though. I mean, but it's showing me that it doesn't matter what we are, who's doing it, what's going on, experience it. I think that's could be the bottom line here. And a lot of things are pointing, you know, for me to check out flat Earth stuff. Why? I don't know. You know, synchronistically, I'm getting, you know, go see what's going on. This thing could blow up. You know, flat Earth could blow up. You know, and the shifting timelines and dimensions could be a bonus. I don't know. You know, maybe that's next. And I don't know. I don't know. How many times can I say I don't know? Just theories. And as far as debunking the Mandela effect, did what I could. But something's definitely got to give here. Something's going on. And love y'all. So I finally got all of my information downloaded onto my computer. I do not have Windows or anything to actually edit and write stuff on it. So I do have that Paul book, and I want to try and figure out a way to share it. But now I'm really excited. I'm more interested in some of the other things I found on here. Miraculously enough, back when I lost all my Beatle music on my phone, when my computer died, and I downloaded everything onto a computer, the thing that I just got done on my computer here, everything's there except the Beatle music, and I had everything. I do have some of their things, but not like, there's a couple of albums scattered around. There are some things I haven't looked at, so it's possible that it's still there, just not where I left it. So we'll see about that. But I found something. It's 45 pages of written material, which I'm reading this just laughing, going, damn, I wrote that. Needs to be edited a little bit. It's like, I don't know, this story, I don't even know where it came from about the accidental creation of physical reality, and starts off where physical reality doesn't exist and how it was accidentally created, and then things that went on from there. I mean, the thing's a monster. I mean, I probably have, I don't know, 30 pages written and 15 that are just outlines of what I wanted to write. Not half, but some of the things I wrote, I'm like, God, what the hell am I talking about? I have no idea. I don't know how well I guided myself, but I'm pretty excited about that. I want to write that, finish it up, edit it out, and find a way to share it. Jay Dreamer's videos on how people get angry when he talks to them about the Earth being flat or whatever, and that's the same reaction I get with the Mandela Effects, and that's what made me think I'm just going to start asking people whether they're part of the program or not, and I did that today. The 3 people I did it to, I have no idea who they are. As soon as they sit down, hi, how you doing? What would you like? Tell me what you like. I said, so, hey, are you a real person or are you part of the program? And I say it just like that. All 3 of them said, oh, part of the program. And just went on about their business like it was no big deal. And I just went about my business just going, wow. Are they just playing along? What is it they're doing? Are they part of the program? Yeah, I found it really weird. And I continued the conversation with the last person. And I just kept going on like, well, listen, just if I'm the only one here, I'm doing fine. With checking up on me, I'm catching on. It was a very strange conversation. But she just went with it. And one other person I started mentioning things, it was a couple of days ago. I didn't actually ask them if they were part of the program, though. And they looked at me and went, you're not supposed to know this stuff. You're going to wake up in the morning and your memory is going to be deleted. And I'm like, no, it would have been deleted long ago if that was the case. So, I mean, obviously he was playing along, but these other people, it's funny. They'll look down on the part of the program and just walk away. It's amazing. Is it less real or actually more real? And I'm just used to less real. I've been thinking about like my first video, why I wanted to post. I was talking to a psychic who told me that if you're called to announce these things that have happened to you, you'll do it. Like, I was very apprehensive about putting out my first videos and all, or any videos. And when she said that, I just felt like, well, okay, if I'm called, I'll do it. And then I was watching some more videos. Not a lot of people, it was like a random Mandela Effect videos here and there when I started, or right before I started posting. And I was very into the flat earth at the time. I had Mandela Effects. And I saw a post from this guy named Jazz Sinclair. And he was posting, and I was like, damn, he's got the balls to do it. Why aren't I? And because of him, ever since I hit 50, I'd started, well, it was not necessarily because of him, because I turned 50 before I knew about jazz. But ever since I turned 50, I decided to go backwards in age. And mentally, that's what I'm doing. Come April, I'll be 49. I mean, I'm 49 now, I'll be 48. That's the way I see it. That's how. I kind of started doing meditations on that and stuff, and kind of didn't get away from it. Just I would do it in my decrees and feel it and know it. And he started talking about one of his questions about not aging, and it's all bullshit. And we don't have to believe anything they say, and that's so true. It's so true. I don't even know what this was about. I'll have to stick this in the post on. I'm sitting here thinking, and I laugh at people when I explain to them that they see the Mandela effect. They're like, wow, That wasn't like that. So where are you from? That's, and I'm thinking I'm doing the same thing. Um, Maybe it's a message to me. I'm doing the same thing by not doing the things I know I need to do to figure out what this is. It's that simple. I already feel like I know what it is I need to do, and I've been procrastinating for a while. One of the things is not eat meat. It's gotten down to not overeat. It was just don't eat red meat. I mean, just stay away from it for a while. What's the big deal? It's definitely one of the things. Why? Well, because of the experience I had. That's it. Um, so these are definitely all messages geared towards me. And I'm getting the message. And what am I going to do about it? So I think life is as malleable as the earth. I think it changes, and it's whatever we want it to be. And I guess we had enough of the control, and we are taking it all down from the outside rather than physically. The, with the work that Lone Eagle does, you know, to me, he's showing land masses that are changing, and he's showing how he's doing it, and he's showing how you can do it by looking at Google Maps and whatnot. And they're Mandela effects, but they involve the Earth shifting and moving, and to me, that's a connection there. And the flat Earth Mandela effect, are they connected? I seem to think so. I always have. There's a lot of Mandela affected that think we still live on a ball. A lot of flat Earth people that aren't affected, and I guess I don't find that as surprising. I think I'll blurt out here that I had a lot of fun bowling with the guys. Really great conversations. Had a really good time. But what got me is, it was kind of funny because I was kind of like pinpointed as the Mandela effect guy, and they were like, "Well, every group's got to have one," because they're all into the flat Earth, and I am definitely on board with we are not living on a spinning ball flying through space. I'm definitely geared more towards it being flat, and I think it's malleable. I think it shifts and changes. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. We had a good time, and the thing is, we hung out a little bit afterwards, and at first I thought, are they doing this on purpose? Because they kept bringing up Mandela effect subjects. Are there that many of them that you can't have a conversation about something? And all of a sudden it's like somebody's just talking. I don't know. This is I can't. Okay, I remember one. Somebody brought up Bragg's apple cider vinegar, and I'm like, am I supposed to say something here? Am I supposed to say, hey, what was it called? And I did, and they said Bragg's, and I said, nah, in this reality, it's Bragg. And a few of them, they're flat earthers. They're not affected by the Mandela effect. But no, it was a really fun time. But it was like almost every other conversation, a Mandela effect was brought up, and I would just kind of go, kind of tilt my head. And so I don't know if I'll be invited back. Because I kept thinking, I'm not going to bring them up. I'm not going to bring it up. But I did. But it was fun. Good time. So I've been thinking about waking people up or not waking people up. And I came across a store and I looked at the guy right away. I said, hey, you got an open mind? He says, yeah. I said, do you want to be woken up or do you want to stay asleep? Because I'm going to wake you up. And he looked at me and he went, I want to stay asleep. It just amazed me. And I said, all right, man, talk to you later. This quantum immortality thing, suicide's definitely not an answer. You know, if it's true, if the theory's correct, it's your focus, your feelings, your emotions, and all you're going to do is shift into a dimension where it didn't, or a specific timeline for you, or whatever it is, that it doesn't succeed, and you survive, and you're still dealing with everything that you tried to run away from, and it's probably worse in harder circumstances. And all you did to these people in this timeline, anybody that was conscious back in those, however many, I mean, all you did was leave them. Like I was saying, these are theories. And for me, I've thought quite often that death might be a catalyst, but I'm quite sure there's probably other catalysts for shifting too. We can probably do this consciously. If we're multi-dimensional beings, we just need to practice and learn and figure it out and create the life that we want to create. I mean, create what we truly want. And believe me, that's a good question too. What is it do you want? Because, I think about that and I freeze. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely going to get this and I'm going to create it. So better be careful. Interested in, what it's all about and what I'm saying and what's going on and what's coming up. Has anybody mentioned or noticed Walmart? I recall it being red. And I think I remember back in 15 where I remember it switching to blue and was into the Mandela Effect. It never dawned on me. Also, the way it's spelled, I thought there was a dash in it, Wal-Mart, but now it's one word. I put on the end of a video about being compassionate to people who are affected by the Mandela effects, the quantum effects, the shift changes, shifting consciousness through timelines, whatever it is. There are many people out there that don't understand it, are seeing the effects, keeping quiet. I don't blame them, but there needs to be some compassion. Seeing YouTube videos of people saying they figured it out and it was proven, and it's a big joke how they just laugh at it, and it's disgusting what some human beings will do to others. And understand that no one really has the answer yet. I believe it will get more and more information. Whether we ever actually get the whole answer, who knows? Beliefs change, truth changes. So I purchased a phone. Been checking out the video, so I went out and just talked a little bit behind the camera on the phone. I have no idea how to get this thing to my computer. Still working it. I'm like, God, it was so nice to be out and have a phone. Now I'm spending all this time trying to figure out. Anyway, I wanted to say, if anyone is having problems with the Mandela effect, if anyone is not taking it as well as some others, this is for anybody into the Mandela effect. I would most definitely check out Cynthia Sue Larson's website and her videos. She's been doing this for a long time. She's really got a handle on it. So if you're upset with some of the things you see and you don't think you can handle it, I would check out some of her videos and possibly even talk to her. I know she's going to be on Dr. Lupin's program. That would be on Thursday, March 17th. I don't know when you're going to see this, so I'm going to try and join them, but I don't get off till late, so we'll see. But yeah, she's definitely one you want to check out. Because of the experiences I've had, I have my theories, and they're even theories for me. Because, I think about them and I listen to other people's theories and I think, wow, that's pretty interesting. But a red light goes on immediately when they say, this is what it is. This is it. And if you want to do this, this is what you have to do. I can't. I'm sorry. if that's what it is, then that's what it is, and I'll get around to it. Uh, there's definitely something going on, no doubt. There is something going on. What is it? I mean, I have my suspicions, I have my theories, and from what other people, like with Cynthia Sue Larson, I mean, she's been at it for so long. She's shifting through dimensions or realities. She calls it reality shifters. So if we're going to get a terminology down, I think we got to figure out the difference between timelines, dimensions, realities. Because for me, that's what it is. We're shifting through our own inside our own dimension. We're shifting through realities, through our own personal timelines. And if they are timelines, that means time doesn't exist as far as we can go forward or back, and forget the aging thing. I mean, these are the things that I think were hidden from us. That's why I think all these things, this is everything that's been a lie, is to cover up that you are a powerful being. I mean, okay, I've had out-of-body experiences. I've had one lucid dream, and forced myself to have, I don't want to say another lucid dream, forced myself out of my body. I was able to do it. I remember screaming at the top of my lungs because I actually consciously did it. And when I woke myself up and got out of it, I ran in the other room asking my roommate if he heard me screaming. And he's like, no. Screaming that, hey, I did it. Very interesting. I think I should have kept that up. That was also in Mississippi, along with a couple of other experiences I had down there. But I remember having an out-of-body experience and feeling more dense, more complete, more dense, which makes no sense to me because I would think this is more dense, even though that was more transparent when I experienced being out of my body. It wasn't like I experienced seeing someone else. I experienced being my higher self. So is that the spirit world? It was real to me. That really happened. And if it's not true, is that just part of a program? Is that just part of a spiritual program? To experience being human, you would have to believe that you have a spirit. So is that also part of? Then on the other hand, we could be spiritual beings inside computer programs experiencing physical reality, which is just a myth. And inside all of that, this physical reality has infinite, multiple dimensions. I mean, all of these theories could be accurate, which I think is a beautiful thing. I want to say that again. It's possible that we could be spiritual beings inside computer programs to experience physical reality, which is just a myth. And within this physical reality, we are multidimensional beings experiencing different timelines, shifts, and all kinds of other phenomenon going on to show us that, yeah, we are much more than just this mundane physical form. So I'm at the bar talking with this guy about a few Mandela Effects, and Flintstones comes up, and I said, how do you spell Flintstones? And everybody's looking around, and he says, no, it's weird because I've always known the cartoon to be Flint Stones with two T's. He goes, when I was buying the Flintstones vitamins, he goes, I thought it was really weird that they spelled it differently. It was just Flin Stones. And he said, I really thought that's weird, but I guess it was some kind of product thing. And I said, no, you probably saw the shift or seen it go back and forth. He goes, no, I'm telling you right now, I know because I noticed it. And he goes, it was just last week I noticed it. He grabs his phone, he looks it up, and he's just it was two T's. Kids, happy St. Patty's Day. I've been I'm going to say reluctant, I guess. I don't know. It's the closest word I can get right now. But a story that I've been meaning to talk about, an event. It happened between December 2015 and February of 2016. I can't pinpoint the exact date. I was walking around in Mississippi, and I was looking at it. I was definitely into the Mandela Effects at this point, and I was really looking for them and searching for them. And I'm walking past a sign that says collectibles, and it's COLL. CO. Guess I should have wrote this down. COLETABLES. The point was, it's two L's, but the point was collect tables, TABLES, and that's the way I always understood it. But the sign said IBLES, and I looked it up, and the definition was that it could be spelled both ways, and that is not. I mean, I suppose it's possible, but it's always been collect, TABLES to me. So as I'm looking at this sign, I'm thinking, I'm going to go to Burger King. It's across the street. So I start walking over, and I'm walking towards the Dairy Queen. The Burger King is on the other side. I see the sign. I see the building. I see people in the building, but it's off to the side. I'm still like Dairy Queen's in front, and the Burger King's there. I see it. I can still see people in the window and whatnot. And I decide, you know what, I'm going through this meat thing, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to go there. It'll be meat. And I end up turning around going home. The next day, I go around this turn going towards the side that would be Burger King, and it's being built. Burger King, soon to be, soon on this premises, Burger King or whatever, and they got some bricks up. They got half the bricks up, and I'm just looking at it going, is it possible? Is it possible that I didn't see it properly and I just thought Burger King was there? And I'm like, no, because I saw it. I mean, it just blew my mind. It was being built. And a couple days later, I'm in work and talking to a guy. I'm like explaining how to get to my place. And he's like, oh, okay, yeah, by the Burger King, I know what that's at. I said, yeah, the one that they're building. And he said, building? No, that's been up since last February. That was built there. I was like, I walked in this place. When I finally went in it, there were signs up said that it was built in February of 2015. And this guy came in, and he was the one that ate the first burger there, and he ate the first burger at like 6 other Burger Kings in the area. I mean, I was like silly, and I'm looking at this going, saw the bricks. It was being built. I mean, at this point, the thing was there and up and running like it's been running the whole time. And I just thought that was strange. I mean, it was all that to me. That's all quantum, because I was definitely focusing on Mandela effects. Okay, yeah, I'm stuttering a lot. I got green on. You know what today is. Come on. I have no idea how to use this thing. Oh, it's working. Change my channel name again. I wanted it to be Suso. I was playing around with it. The last name didn't show up last time, so I went ahead and put Anthony in there. So it's Suso Anthony. So that'll be my channel name for the next 6 months. Got me a new phone, if you want to call it that. Something temporary, I suppose. Thought I'd check out the scenery. I've stayed away from the phone for such a long time, and I've come up with zeroing in on me. Also, another term I heard people talking about, cognitive dissonance. And, I read up on it, and I plan on reading more on it, but it just sounds to me like it's a long-winded way to say people misremembered, unless I'm missing something on that. We've entered cognitive dissonance. I mean, I don't understand what we've entered. We've entered mass mismemory. So I believe I
shifted myself into a reality timeline where it's easier for me to shift out of negativity and just relax, be where I want to be, do what I want to do, create, love. Uh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm doing it. I'm just doing it. Has there been any distinctive shifts, changes? Noticed things that I've done on purpose. A couple of things I've noticed. I wasn't really doing it on purpose. It's just, how do I put this? There was something assumed, and or something. But until I can fly, I'm not. There's just not going to be any proof. And even when I can fly, uh, it's not going to be too many people in that timeline, that reality, that's actually going to see it, right? You'd have to be that far. Oh, what am I trying to say? What is that thing? Now, I'm not claiming this is a Mandela effect, but something I've noticed. Every time I see a T on a store name, it's got the little bottom hook, and the top of the T kind of curls back as well. Now, like I said, I don't know if this is a Mandela effect. It could have always been that way. Just had a conversation with a guy and his buddy. They were there to take it easy and relax because I was talking to them about Mandela effects for a while. They were just totally amazed. They were telling me they were there because it's about the third time that they actually watched their friend die. And, they're on his way over his house now because they watched him die last week. Saw him in the casket. They weren't bullshitting me. I mean, I talked to them about Mandela effects. They said they heard of it, didn't know. And they wanted to be shaking. I was like, I gotta get my camera. Like, no, I ain't putting that on film. And it was just one interesting conversation. How they just sat there and shook. The Mandela effect is definitely growing. More and more people I bring it up to have heard about it, at the very least. A lot of them seem to get away from it because they don't understand that, no, it's always been that way. You changed. The item didn't change. They can't wrap their head around that. Some of them can, but just don't understand it. And that's to be expected. But with that guy telling me his friend, both of them are sitting there, yeah, our friend died several times, at least we think so, and we're here, like, because we remember it vividly, but it's like it didn't happen, and it's so weird that you're talking to us about this stuff. And these were two 20-year-old kids, and I had this camera not far, and they just wouldn't let me film them. I'm like, all right. And I told these guys, I said, look, when you see your friend, and I don't know if you've had the conversation before, but from his perspective, he didn't die. His consciousness just shifted over into a timeline where circumstances were different. And hey, the multiverse works in mysterious ways. And I guess what I would call a very disappointing situation where I picked up this hitchhiker. Hey, yo, I didn't do this on purpose. Get the collar open. I picked up this hitchhiker, and of course, listen, if you're hitchhiking and I'm driving by, you're in trouble because I'm going to wake your ass up. So I told the guy about the Mandela effects. He was all into it. And yeah, definitely going to be looking that up, checking it out. And I put the wall on. And I asked him what he heard. Whatever, I didn't lead him on. I just said, let's listen to this because some of the words changed for me. Tell me what you hear. He didn't hear anything. And then we played it again, and I told him it was break instead of brick. And for me, I heard brick and break at the same time. And I'm like, well, that's happened before because it's the observer. I get it. Now I'm hearing both. And then the next time where it's always been break for me, it said brick. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't go backwards, did I? But it's just shifting back and forth, and it's the exact same CD that I've used before. Oh, dang thing's already going. Which way am I here? What have I noticed lately? There's some things I never mentioned. Three famous groups or artists that I never heard of. Reluctant to say, who they are because it just could seem silly. Toad and the Wet Sprockets, Joss Stone, and Primus. And the only reason I even heard of Primus is because of the Claypool Lennon Delirium. We're doing some serious thinking about the Mandela Effect and when it began, when it started, and yeah, it's probably been going on throughout history. But we're only noticing it now because of computers and communication, how quickly it goes on. Think about it. I mean, say it's 1977 and you're walking around and you notice the Pepsi can changed. And and you're immediately going to just assume that the product changed its logo. But if you're suspicious about it because say you were in the store, picked up a can, and then went the next day, picked up a can, and all of the cans are changed, you're like, wow, did they really go in and just change all the cans because the logo's different? Would they do that? No, they wouldn't. So you get suspicious, and where are you gonna look it up? Well, you're gonna go to the library and look up the logos for Pepsi and see what it was throughout history. I don't even know what that would entail. I mean, you're going to the library, you're looking it up. I'm sure it probably is listed somewhere. I'm sure you could find it at the library. So now you go through all that, and it's saying that it was that logo the whole time. It's never changed. Who are you going to tell? I mean, even if you did tell your close friends and talk to them about it, they may not have been affected. Then you really look nuts. Talk to your family. If they're not affected, you look like a freak. Um, what are you going to do? You're just going to be quiet about it. I mean, maybe you'll document it. Maybe you're smart enough to just, you'll probably just blow it off and continue about your life. I mean, but think about it. That's what would have had to been done back then. And even if you did get that information out, it would take 2, 3, 4, 5 people to do it and actually come in contact with each other to make it a thing. So I truly do. I really think, yes, I mean, what's happening, I have theories, but I think it's definitely been going on throughout history. I think this is our natural state. Our natural state, yes. And, as far as theories go, I think it's our consciousness shifting through timelines. I think we are multi-dimensional beings and we are experiencing multi-dimensions. So is it wrong? All these messages I see, they seem to be directed to me. And I feel that with the people doing different changes, as far as continents popping up, moving, shifting, the earth is malleable. Flat, round, globe, triangle, whatever. It's malleable. It shifts, it changes just like you do. Um, so it's about you and the experience. I don't think it's about what you see, hear, feel, touch. I think it's about the actual experience of since the day I was born until the day I die. All I have is my experience. So we're all on our own little timelines, experiencing things. And when I'm interacting with somebody, they're in their own little dimension, experiencing their things. And the dimensions are so close together that we can interact with each other. That's what happens with everybody. And yes, this is just a theory. Um, I could be having a conversation with somebody, and in another timeline for them, they're having a conversation with me, and it could be about something completely different. Might not have anything to do with it. But, I mean, on some level, that conversation is probably still taking place. So, in effect, You are the only one here. Um, you know, it's you, and it's about you and what your experiences are, and that is all that you have is your experiences. I said on one video or another, I think I lost it because I don't think I put it up, but I think about the past. I remember the experiences, um, but I don't have that. That's not tangible to me. The only thing I have is those experiences. So the only thing I have now is, right now, it's tangible. This is what's important. You know, this is my dimension. This is my timeline. And I do believe I can consciously shift through to whatever experience I want. Even memories aren't experience. You only have the memory of the experience, which is, I believe, what I meant by, you know, I may have worked in Atlantic City for 27 years, but I only have the memory of that, the experience of it. I don't actually have the actual conscious feeling, touching. But I've been loving this concept about me being the only one in my dimension. I know I've mentioned it in one of my videos in the past, but oh, man, I'm in the middle of doing a video. Did you want to get on?
Fuck your videos.
Would you like to say something about Mr. Nelson?
Nelson Mandela was a very good man.
So this is what I meant by I'm creating things. Things are happening. And, I'm not sure how I'm doing it. But there's something in here that, I'm thinking, yeah, I know when I can do it. Does that make sense? You know what? Here's an example. Yeah, there was a guy who was at the bar a couple nights ago. He's telling me it was going to be 4 inches of snow. I said, nope. I'm shifting into a timeline where it's not going to be 4 inches of snow. Not going to be any. And we were talking about the big storm after that, and I told him, no, we're not going to have it. It's going to pass. So big storm coming in, right? And right before it, last night there was supposed to be 4 inches of snow, and after that, some big 1.5 feet of snow coming in. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So last night we got some rain, washed away some ice, and tonight this big storm's supposed to come in, and it's 49 degrees. It looks like it's not snow. It looks like it's snowing out there. But I'm not doing snow. Is that simple? Worked once. I mean, I came close. There was some flurries and stuff. But there's my Anheuser-Busch beer sign. It's still AI. I didn't walk 2 feet after that big speech about how it's not going to snow. I don't know how you say it because it's coming down. Cracks me up. I just said it's not going to snow. You see, now I'm too involved in this or something. I didn't give it much thought when it happened yesterday, and I just kind of jokingly told everybody we're not getting any snow. We didn't get the 4 inches, so maybe I can stop a 1.5 feet of snow. I'll take a dusting. The temperature is dropping. It was just 46 degrees when I was on the other side of the street. But it's snowing, 44 degrees, and it's snowing. So if this is the big storm, I'm pushing that away too because it's not going to lay that temperature. March 25th, and this snowstorm that was supposed to be here is not going. What's going on? Not coming in tonight. It's going to pass right over. We're right in between there.
Right at the top of that. Right at the very top of that. That's where we're. Right at the very top of that. That's where we're at.
The snow's just going to accidentally miss us. Huh?
I think so.
So for me, the bottom line is, I heard from these other people that 4 inches of snow was coming in last night, and tonight it's supposed to be a big storm. And I just shifted myself into a timeline where it wasn't going to happen. I mean, yeah, everybody's going to say, "Wow, the storm just blew over," or whatever. Well, yeah, that is how we're perceiving it. That is what happened. But I just knew. I don't see, and that's probably a key. I just knew everybody's screaming it's going to be 2 feet of snow, and I'm like, no, because I had enough snow. 10 months of winter is plenty, thanks. Okay, as a theory, all I did in my own dimension is shift into a timeline where there wasn't any snow, or the snow, it rained and washed away some ice. And tonight it's 2 o'clock in the morning and there's still nothing. That doesn't mean there won't be around here, but see, I shouldn't talk like that. I'll change what I got going. It's going to be tough to get a foot and a half of snow out of this. So, but these other people that I spoke with about it, they might be in their own dimension where there is a foot and a half of snow. I don't think it's that complicated. Trying to come up with definitions for the different terminologies I use when it comes to dimensions, timelines, realities, and I was thinking, we are all in our own personal dimension. Now, the reason that I can interact with other people's dimensions is because we're on the same timeline. And that creates our reality. And I've been holding on to a thought that I've had for a very long time, quite frankly, because I'm almost attacking myself. Especially with the basketball players coming out with the flat earth information and leaking flat earth and material, because now other people are going to go investigate it and they're going to come to the conclusion, if they can handle it, that they're not on a spinning ball. I think the bigger the Mandela effect gets, the more they're going to leak flat earth. I know, it's tough for me to even say that, because I think flat earth is real. I mean, I think the Mandela effect is real, but what I'm saying is I don't think we're on a spinning ball flying through space. I think that part of the deception was, when the Mandela effect, because that's what it's termed, when quantum changes, when the observation of shifting dimensions came into effect, or they knew it was going to come into play eventually, and this was one of the ways to keep people in fear so that they may keep the power. This is just a theory, but I think it's a damn good one. So the Mandela effect is showing us that we are multidimensional beings, shifting through dimensions based on our focus, intent, and what I like to call something assumed. Just not like forget about it, just assume it and go about your business. With these things, we're creating, so we can shift into the timeline, dimension, reality we want. We can shift into the timeline we want. We could take our dimension and shift into that timeline. And if the elite, the powers that shouldn't be, they know about this. They don't want us to know, because when we find out, we shift away from their power. We shift away from the negativity. We shift into the reality that pleases us, the one we want. So what would, when something like that comes out, two things are happening. One, the people that are expecting something like this because they studied this stuff their whole life, they're excited, they're ready to go, they're pushing it. And there's the other people that just cannot handle it. Physical reality is not what they think. So, that's a group of people that the powers that shouldn't be have that they're going to go after. I mean, as far as keeping them in fear so that they can keep their illusionary physical reality going, where they're in power and control. And now, there's things I'm hearing. I'm like, oh, but they're they have the military and they have, well, okay, I just explained that you can change your perception and shift into another reality. Assume it, believe it, know it, assume it, and let it go. And I don't mean let it go. Um, just assume it already is and move on. Stop watching TV. If you watch TV, that's what you're going to get. I don't know how many times I've said that. And I'm guilty of some things too. I'm far from perfect, and a lot of these are just theories. But I really like this. This really seems it resonates with me really well. I am not dissing any flat Earth believers. I believe we are not on a spinning ball flying through space. I believe the Earth is malleable. It shifts. It changes. This explains the continents changing and the distance between California and New York being shorter now, and shrinking continents, rising continents. I mean, it shifts, it changes. And, we're aware of it now because of technology. This stuff's been going on throughout our entire reality. I really feel that that's true. And, we can have what we want, and we can shift where we want and do what we want. And let's, but I just think, I think I think there's going to be a really big Mandela effect very shortly. March and September were always like trigger dates. Seemed like they were. We're ending. This is what we got. What's today's date? The 27th of March. So my point is, flat Earth came out about the same time people started noticing Mandela effects. I don't know which came first, the chicken or the egg. I don't know. It's very possible. I mean, flat Earth is physical. They lied. Let's get over it. The Mandela effect is supernatural. People aren't going to be able to handle it, wrap their brain around it. And look, if you're not affected, we can't prove it to you. We could show you residual, which would just probably debunk it by saying, hey, that's what you saw. That's why you remember it. I mean, but if you're not affected by the Mandela effect, there's no way to prove it. And I do believe there are some people who have seen it and blew it off because their mind cannot handle it. It's going to get harder for them. It's a shame that there's some people that have totally blown this off without even looking into it because they just don't understand it. They need to look into it because it's going to get harder for them. And with a big shift coming up, or would I say a big Mandela effect probably, to wake up more people, to open up more eyes. I think flat Earth will blow up if it's a really big Mandela effect. I really think flat Earth will blow up.
Watching the Dr. Lupin episode right now, and he just said, why would the elite allow the internet? And that's something I've questioned all the time because, and I just said in a recent video, without, in 77, you come across this information, you got nowhere to go. Now with the internet, we got everywhere to go. I mean, we have the world at our fingertips. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking that they allow that information to come out because they have 50 years beyond us information before that. I mean, whatever they're giving us, they have to be at least 50 years beyond us. The U and the N on bounce were not like that in another reality I recall. They were separate.
I've had two people tonight tell me that Lids, the hat company, is spelled Lidz. I'm never sure of it. I remember it as Lidds, and it is just Lids. Everything seems to be a distraction to me. Everything. Everything's a lie. Everything's a distraction. So where do we go from there? I mean, how do we break out of this computer program, break out of this
physical matrix, do we want to break out? I mean, this is something we obviously wanted to experience. So we're experiencing it now, and now we're experiencing the most exciting part of physical reality. I mean, this is it. You know, these changes, these shifts. Like I've said before, this is telling us we are multidimensional beings shifting throughout time with our own dimensions, what we believe, what we've been programmed to believe, and we can change that. We can manipulate it to whatever we want. And even when we get to that point where we can, you know, is it a trap? Is this something we want to stay with? Is this something we want? You know, I feel like, wow, I really need to get out of this just to see what's going on so I can jump back in and take care of business. I don't know if it works that way.
We were supposed to get snow, but it.
And that's this snowstorm. This is it. I don't even think that's an inch. Since what is it? Since the 25th March, they were calling for this big 4 inches of snow, then a foot and a half of snow, and tonight we're supposed to get 5 inches. And I just keep saying, hey, I'm ready for spring. And I keep feeling that way, and this is what I get. I get snow coming down, melting in the streets at 31 degrees. I was just talking to one of the police officers, and he's like, yeah, I don't get it. You did tell me you were going to do that. I actually told him I was going to shift into another timeline and skip all the snow. And he's looking at me like, wow, could you do it Sunday? I don't want any snow on Sunday. I'm like, you got to pay me. This is a talent. So that was pretty funny, but ex-heliocentric, did you get what I sent you? You should have got rain and snow and all kinds of stuff. Look, I just feel it. I don't know, whatever. So I'm sure it's just a coincidence. I don't know.
So this is the piece of quartz that I had out in the yard that the orbs were over back in, what is it, June? June, July? June or July. I think it was July 2015. This nice piece was sitting right out in the yard. That's kind of right what they were over. So now I carry this with me everywhere.
The movie's called Escape Plan, and Stallone just asked Schwarzenegger for a piece of metal, and he said, okay, I'll just go to Home Depot and pick it up. Maybe just skip the word the. Just said the Our Father the way we all remember it. I'll explain this. Physical reality has not seemed the same to me for a long time. I'd say since 2012 to 2014, everything tasted like peanut butter or cardboard. I don't even know where to go with that. Things were definitely different. Things definitely changed. But even now, everything is surreal. Everything is surreal. I don't even know how else to put it. It just doesn't seem, it's not even tangible to me anymore. I mean, I'm trying. I'm just, you know, I worked in the big business for 33 years. I got out. And now I just feel like I'm on vacation. It's been a year. Coming up like April, the end of April, it'll be a year. Middle of April, it'll be a year. And that'll be a year for my site as well. It's just strange. I feel like I can do whatever I want. And now I'm in this, what do you want to call it? Purgatory. I'm in this zone where, you know, I'm just chilling, taking it easy, not worrying about anything. And just doing what I got to do to get through. And, you know, I have plans. I was planning on leaving this place to live upstairs, work downstairs. You know, I got it made as far as a lot of things go. And I just keep trying to get out. Why? You know, there's things I desire that I know I could make happen right now, and I don't because I'm just too particular. I'm too, I don't know. But anyway, thanks for listening. And I'd like to take this moment to thank all of my subscribers and thank you to everyone for liking any of my videos. I really appreciate that. You know, I know I should probably come out and say that often. I don't. I don't say it often enough. I have said it before, but I don't say it often enough.
I have had a personal Mandela effect that I mentioned maybe 6 months ago, and didn't get many replies on it. Some people remember this the way I do. Everybody I talk to off of YouTube, it's a 50-50 split. Some people remember it, some people say no, some people say yeah, and they're sure both ways. Anybody that's not sure tells me they're not sure. The Big Dipper and Little Dipper were connected by one star. And now it's not like that, they are separate. I'm curious how many people comment for me. I'm just curious because it's usually a 50-50 split.
So maybe everything happens. So when you leave, say
So there's
60% chance of this happening, there has to be another realm where in that moment we split, and then that 40% chance occurs, and every other possibility.
it's going to be infinite.
Yeah, infinite possibilities of different decisions, continuously creating infinite possibilities off of each other.
Freaking wet, sticky snow. God.
And we're getting, what did they say?
1 to 3 tomorrow afternoon, 3 to 5 tomorrow night, and 1 to 3 the next day.
So we're talking
We can get 8 inches.
the first, the second, the third. No, we're
No.
talking the 31st,
Yeah,
first, and second.
Actually, it showed snow all the way to Wednesday, but less chance. Or through Tuesday.
I wanted to mention that anytime I mention orbs, they're not the orbs that I saw in the one video. I'm going to have to find them and link them. Where I was sitting there reading off a pad and they were flying across the screen in front of the camera. When I say I saw orbs over that crystal was in my backyard, and you know where I came out and I saw the orbs over my head. Now I know I blurted that story out somewhere, but and I came outside at 4:44 in the morning, and there were 2 orbs. Now these things were amoeba looking. They were the size of cars, transparent, but you couldn't see through them, and they were gold in color. And they were about 15, 20 yards over my head. They weren't the things going like in front of the screens, because I know a lot of people on YouTube are talking about orbs, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, okay, those are I would call those orbs as well, I suppose. These things, actually, I should be calling them UFOs, but they're to me, they're orbs. That's what came to mind. Just point that out. And as far as all this snow talk, right now it is snowing outside. Today's date is the 31st. They are calling for a lot of snow now. I'm off for a few days, so I plan on leaving town. I don't even know where I'm going yet. Kind of exciting. But I'll be leaving sometime Saturday, and you know, I'm just sure I'll be able to make it out of town without a problem. Go south, go somewhere where the snow isn't bothering me. But you know, like I said, I'm just pushing it away. And right now, I mean, the sky, like since they said all this snow was it back on the 23rd or whatever, and it just hasn't shown up. It just keeps going around us or passing over us. Nothing's really shown up. Today's the 31st. You know, looks like it's coming down now. It's been raining all morning, all afternoon. Anyway, as far as, you know, shifting, I'm not going to say control or manipulating the weather. I'm not. I'm just shifting into a timeline, dimension, vibration, which would probably be a better description, where the snow is not a problem, or you know, it's not. So I don't think there's any repercussions, because I am not changing things, just shifting somewhere else. It's funny, Sean Indigo was just doing a video, I was watching it on mistakes on the Mandela Effects, and he's saying that very well could possibly be mistakes out there. They just could be misremembering. Well, for me, you know, I try not to blurt out too many Mandela Effects that I'm not 100% sure of. Just, you know, but it doesn't really matter because you cannot prove the Mandela effect unless you're affected. And if, say yesterday, this pen was red, it's not it's not going to be a Mandela effect for anybody. It's still a Mandela effect, so is it a mistake? No, it's not a mistake, but it can't be proven. Just like the Mandela effect, it can't be proven to people who were affected, because it can't be proven at all to people who are not affected. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, that reminds me of blah, 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 Jessica. Hey, Jessica, thanks for giving me the plug and all the nice things you said about my channel. I do know I go deep sometimes. It's just what's going on in my head, I tend to really analyze everything to the bone and just go as deep as I can. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it don't, and sometimes I even confuse myself.